We'll call to order tonight's Committee of the Whole for the Auburn City Council meeting, March 8th, 2025. The City Council has the minutes from the March 4th Committee of the Whole. Are there any additions to corrections to those minutes? If not, is there a move to approve?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Auburn Public Library, Mayor Pro Tem Whitten.
Yes, sir. We have one position. Unexpired term begins immediately and ends April 14, 2026. Incumbent Daniel Surrey has resigned as he is moving out of the city limits. I would like to nominate Caitlin Allen.
Second.
Caitlin Allen has been nominated. We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions from the dais? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we will confirm that later on in the agenda. Any questions tonight related to the agenda for the substitute city manager, Mr. Cummings? If not, I wanted to just have a conversation with you, Mr. Cummings, related to the item we have, the ordinance tonight, related to the plan unit development. This was postponed from a second meeting in January, and I just want to make sure that I handle this correctly once it's introduced. So can you kind of give us where it is at this point in time? And I'm talking about from a Robert's Rules and.
Yes, very good point. When this item was postponed at the January 23rd council meeting, there had been a motion for unanimous consent made, a second followed, but no vote occurred. So we will have to, the first action I will mention will be taking a vote on the unanimous consent action. And then that'll be followed by a public hearing.
I do have a question on that, because I thought the reason we vote on unanimous consent is that portion is to waive the first reading.
That's correct.
And so this is the second reading.
That's correct as well. The vote did not occur. We need to complete that action to vote for the unanimous consent. However, if there is a denial of unanimous consent, this is still the second reading, so you may proceed with that.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
sorry, it's a formality, but
Okay.
yes, a little Robert's Rules lesson for tonight.
We're always learning.
It's
I
the
always
first.
struggle with that. I appreciate the patience
Mayor,
on
if I
that.
may, still don't understand it. I thought when you had to give the consent, it was just for one person to not, for one that didn't want to do it that night. I didn't think he had to come back and do.
We didn't get to that vote. That vote did not occur before the motion was made to postpone.
Whatever you say.
We'll go slow, Chief.
I don't quite
I
get it.
have one as well.
Sure, yes.
Thanks. I believe that the council rules may have been misinterpreted to only allow an applicant to speak during the
Hold on,
public
just one
hearing.
second, Kelly. I just want to make sure we close this up on this. I'm going to give you your time
That's fine.
because I had something else I wanted to include. So anybody else okay with that? Now, there are also a couple of amendments that that were in your packet that I plan on introducing tonight. Scott, would you just, once again, coach us up, in particular how they would be introduced because of where we are in the process?
That is correct, and once you get through the process and you get ready to take action on the item, we're requesting that you make those amendments and make a motion to amend those into the ordinance. Those were included in your packet, and hopefully you've had a chance to review those. Those had specific purposes. One, we wanted to make sure that we defined in the ordinance that the PUD itself runs with the land. So once it's approved, it will run with the land, not the actual applicant. And so the other item was actually to address two things. One, which is the second item that we provided to you, would clarify that the PUD would expire after 24 months, similar to a PDD, if it's not executed. So if the PUD is not performed, then it would expire, and it would revert back to the previous zoning. The second item associated with that, and very much akin to that, is if someone were to come in and purchase the property before the PUD had been performed, and they didn't want to do the PUD, they could rezone the property, but they would have to petition the Planning Commission and City Council and go through the rezoning process to revert it back.
Okay.
So
And we did discuss this at our work session last week.
that's correct.
Okay. And so each of these would need to be read, each of these amendments would need to be read into the record, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, anything regarding this particular topic before I'll give the floor to Mr. Griswold regarding this ordinance tonight? Any other questions, process where we are? All right, well, we'll methodically walk through this and hopefully get it right. Thank you, Mr. Cummins. All right, Mr. Griswold.
Thank you. I'm sorry I jumped ahead
No
there.
problem, no problem.
Okay,
Thank you.
I believe that our council rules may have been misinterpreted to only allow an applicant to speak during the public hearing and to be limited to 5 minutes. I've asked the city manager and the mayor to outline the process to clarify our rules, and they suggested discussing it at an upcoming committee of the whole. So with council's concurrence, I'd like this to be a topic for our next committee of the whole, please.
Is there any, before we take a vote on this, anybody have any questions for Mr. Griswold as to maybe dig in a little deeper, what particularly he's asking for? Is everybody clear on this?
I'm not. So what are you saying?
Okay.
I'm saying that we just need to clarify whether an applicant is restricted to only talking during the public hearing, or if an applicant is only restricted to 5 minutes. We may choose to do a different time, may choose to leave it exactly like it is. I had some questions from some constituents that, well, not questions, some comments, that they would have liked to have heard the applicant speak 2 meetings ago, but because of our rules at the time, they weren't able to hear his full explanation of what he intended. So, and I was unaware of the fact that we were limiting an applicant. I always thought that the applicant could come up and present his case, and then you'd have a public hearing. I think we need to afford the applicant an opportunity to present his case. So that's my rationale.
Related to this, obviously I was trying to do the best I can to run the meeting. There's a fairness that if you give an applicant X amount of minutes, that you give the public, each individual, those same amount of minutes. Public hearings have always been 5 minutes, and the interpretation of our rules was that's what everybody gets, no matter if you're the applicant or if you're a citizen that would like to respond to that applicant. There have been times in the past where we have, when there's been a project that had a lot to it, that was maybe complicated, that we needed to have more time, that we have called a special work session, and the staff has presented the details of that project. The applicants have been there, but they have not spoke at that time, and that has been an opportunity for the council to understand further the project. So, if this is what the council would like to do to study this, I'm personally, as the mayor, good with that. I would just say that there is some legal matters in this that we've got to get some interpretation and understanding of what we can and can't do. But if it's a discussion everybody would like to have, then we can certainly set the time to do that in the future. So, anybody have an opinion on that?
I would like to
Thought?
have the discussion in the committee of the whole, and I think, I'd like to ask that the staff look back at our past meetings and see. I tend to believe that there was some situation where the developer had longer to present his case, and I think we need to be fair to everyone, so I would ask that maybe we get the staff to do some research on it as to how we've handled it in the past.
And then, Ron, you said that there was some legal issues, so would the legal people be here to answer those questions?
I would believe that if we were to bring this topic up, that we would have those resources available to us. I would ask that we would have those resources available to us. Anyone else? Okay, is everybody good with asking that this be included on the next committee of the whole? That'd be the first meeting in April.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, we'll determine how much time we need for that a little bit later, if everybody will be flexible with that, what time we
That's
start.
it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, okay. All right, anything else for the committee of the whole? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole?
So moved.
All right, we'll adjourn the committee of the whole. It is after 6 o'clock, so we'll move right into our regular agenda. Certainly welcome those of you who are with us tonight for the March 18th Auburn City Council meeting. Welcome those who are listening to us on WANI radio, as well as who are watching through our streaming services. With the roll call, Allison?
Adams,
Here.
Koblenz,
Here.
Dawson,
Here.
Griswold,
Here.
Mormon,
Here.
Parsons,
Here.
Taylor,
Here.
Witten,
Here.
Anders.
Here. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Earlier tonight, during the Committee of the Whole, the City Council appointed Caitlin Allen to an unexpired term on the Library Board, which is actually right at a year. We appreciate Mr. Daniel Surrey and his service to the Library Board and wish him well as he moves forward. We also had some discussion about protocol regarding our ordinance tonight that will be taken up soon. This is agenda item number 9. And then Councilman Griswold asked for some time at the next Committee of the Whole to discuss council rules related to development projects and applicants' opportunities to present those projects in or out of a public hearing. And the council agreed to do that, and so we'll set time at our next meeting, which I believe is April the 1st. Under Mayor's announcements, I just want to remind our community that a great program, the Empty Bowls program, is Friday night. We are hosting it here this year in Auburn, and there'll be some beautiful ceramic bowls that have been made by folks here in our community. All the money that you pay for those bowls will go straight to our food bank, and it's a great fundraiser and a fun time, and I encourage people to participate. Bark in the Park is also coming up this Saturday from 9 to 2. Allison, where is that being held at? Kiesel? At Kiesel Park. And there'll be adoptions available if you're looking for a pet. Great. And Household Hazardous Waste Day is March the 29th. This is a great opportunity for you to get rid of that stuff that we don't let you put in your trash can or out by the street. And so, Katrina, you and your staff always do a beautiful job of that each year, and out at our Environmental Services headquarters on Wire Road. And then 2 weeks ago, I kind of fumbled talking about the whole Lake Wilmore opening, and I want to say I'm sorry and ask our Parks and Rec Director, Mr. Cummings, if she would just give us an update of what's going on with Lake Wilmore so we get it on the record.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, we are happy to say that we opened yesterday for the free trial period for Lake Wilmore. So Lake Wilmore Fitness is open, the walking track, the pool. We've had a lot of people come through the doors in the last 2 days. We're excited to see them. We've been giving tours, answering questions, and this is a great chance for people to come out and check out the facility.
Good.
So we're very excited.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sorry for the surprise.
That's okay.
All right. Anyone else on the council have an announcement they'd like to make? Yes, sir, Mr. Griswold.
Yes, I'd like to congratulate one of our young citizens, Jack Parsons, the son of our Councilman Bob Parsons, has been appointed to and accepted by the Air Force Academy. And so we're really excited for him, and congratulations to both Jack and to you, Bob, for raising a fine young man.
Appreciate that. Very proud.
Congratulations, Bob. That's awesome. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, I have. I just want to remind everybody of the Community Ward 1 meeting on Monday night, March the 24th at the Boykin Community Center from 6 to 8 p.m. and the public is invited. And I will get, a special guest speaker will be Mayor Ron Anderson.
Got to bring extra chairs in for that one, Connie. All right, I think Sonny.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was driving here tonight and I saw 4 signs popping up on Old Mill Road, and the nature of the signs was to advertise a campaign called Love My Block. So I'd like to thank the city staff for undertaking, and I don't know how many annual times this has been done, but it used to be known, formerly known as the Neighborhood Cleanup Project, and will run this year from 31 March until 4 April. And each year, a different section of the city is chosen, and this year the area is the northeast portion of Ward 5, which includes Lakeview Drive, East Magnolia, North Green Street, McKinley Avenue, and Old Mill Road. So it's kind of the Lakeview area, if you're familiar with that. The city will be working in several disciplines or areas that may be starting their work prior to and after the focus dates. And letters will be mailed to residents, and I understand door tags will be hung, and of course signs will be going up advertising the event. They'll be looking at everything from potholes to street signs to dead trees to street markings and the painting of fire hydrants. So I want to encourage us as a neighborhood to please assist the city in any way you can in this effort, and thanks to the city staff for working on this and this spring cleaning effort of the loveliest village of the Plain, known as Love My Block. So thank you very much to whoever is driving this, but I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sonny. Anyone else? Okay, Auburn University Communications.
Hey, good afternoon. There's not much going on right now at Auburn as we come back from spring break, and then a lot of leadership positions are still transitioning. But as for SGA, assistant vice president positions were announced right before spring break, and then director and assistant director positions are going to have interviews at the end of this week and beginning of next week, and then those positions will be finalized next week. And that will be really exciting because then SGA's terms and positions will all be filled for the 2025-2026 year, and they'll be able to start on projects and whatnot for this upcoming year. And then SGA is hosting an open house tonight for any students to just come on in and ask questions and express their interest in maybe applying for director or assistant director positions. And yeah, that's all. Thank y'all, and War Eagle.
War Eagle, thank you, Evan. All right, at this time, we'll open up for citizens' communications on items on tonight's agenda. This is only on items for tonight's agenda. I will say, speak to the item number 9. The ordinance does have a public hearing attached, so if you'd like to talk to the city council about that, please hold your comments until that time. But if you'd like to speak to the council about anything else on our agenda, now would be the time, and we'd ask that you come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you'll have 5 minutes. Okay, seeing no one, we'll move ahead. City manager's communications.
I have nothing else to communicate at this time. Would you like to proceed to the consent agenda?
Please.
So item 8 is the consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove any item from the consent agenda? Consider that separately.
Seeing no one, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any questions? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the consent agenda is approved. Ordinances.
Under ordinance, item 9A is a resolution authorizing zoning ordinance text amendments to Article 3, Section 304, and Article 5, Section 504 and 505 for plan unit developments. Planning Commission recommended unanimous approval at its December 12th, 2024 meeting. This item was postponed from the City Council's January 23rd meeting. A vote on this motion, vote on the motion for unanimous consent is necessary prior to proceeding, and then a public hearing is required.
I'll introduce the ordinance and ask for unanimous consent.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Does anyone on the council have a problem moving forward with a vote on this evening? Okay. Do we need to take a roll call on that, Scott? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move ahead. Mr. Cummins?
So at this time, a public hearing is required.
Okay. So we will open the public hearing. If you'd like to address the city council, please come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you will have 5 minutes to speak to the city council. Okay. All right. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. At this time, I'd like to request the council consider 2 amendments. The first amendment, the purpose of this amendment, and I'll read straight from our memorandum here, this amendment to item 505.05, and this is to codify PUDs as rezonings that run with the land. And this amendment also provides clarity on any transactions within a PUD and their impact on an approved PUD. This amendment reads as the following. Approved PUDs are rezonings that run with the land. Subsequent transactions or sales that take place, on land within an approved PUD are still bound by the PUD. Means to terminate an approved PUD are outlined in section 505.08 of this ordinance.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. All right, any comments or questions? Okay. Do we need to do a roll call on this?
You need to vote on the amendment, yes.
Okay, so at this time, we'll have a roll call vote on the amendment.
Mormon,
Yes, ma'am.
Parsons,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Witten,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Coblentz,
Yes, ma'am.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Griswold,
Yes, ma'am.
Anders.
Yes. The Second Amendment I'll read as the following. Add PUD to accompany PDD concerning expiration of the Master Development Plan. And insert at the end of the paragraph, in quotes, anyone who purchases property subject to a PUD may petition the city to terminate the PUD. The petition shall include a request to rezone property. Such petition shall be heard by the Planning Commission and by the City Council, which would have the final decision concerning the request. Such petitions shall be evaluated under the city's rezoning criteria, end quote.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
Is that different from how we handle PDDs? I know PDD is an overlay, and this is a zoning situation, so is that why there's a difference in those two things?
Yes, and so with the rezoning to a PUD, that would run for, 24 months and it could expire at that point. However, someone made a purchase on the land before that time expired, that they wanted to take action to do something different, not continue the PUD, they could go ahead and petition a rezoning ahead of that time, or they could let it expire.
If the PUD is satisfied, like say they handle all the transactions of the PUD and say it's 3 years later and someone else buys the land, is there a reason to go and cancel the PUD, or is it
Not at that time.
already, there's no reason to do that, right?
There would not be, no.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll have a voice vote on this amendment. Allison?
Parsons,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Witten,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Coblentz,
Yes.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Griswold,
Yes, ma'am.
Mormon,
Yes, ma'am.
Anders.
Yes. All right, at this time,
So you could entertain any additional discussion or amendments, and then you'd proceed back to voting for the ordinance as a whole.
As a whole.
With-
All right, so-
as amended with these two actions.
I got you. Thank you, Scott. All right, any other further questions or comments regarding where we stand with the PUD before we vote?
Mr. Mayor, I asked a question with staff earlier about exclusions of rural and NC. I would like to get a little further clarification or put that on the public record why we're excluding those at this time, and if there's consideration to be given to including those at some other time as we see how this goes with the PUD ordinance.
Okay. I can ask our planning director, Justice Wahid Cotton, to address that.
Thank you. So the thought process behind excluding NC and rural at this time was to allow for the PUDs to kind of show and prove that they can be a positive impact in the community and that they're not going to be used to cannibalize either of those zoning districts. And so to really kind of give them a test run and kind of see how they play out. One of the conversations that we had with the development community was that this ordinance isn't going to be something that's in stone. This is something that's going to be actively under review to kind of improve and kind of identify places where things do need to be cleaned up or things need to be tightened up and possibly loosened up in certain places. So if we review it and y'all are comfortable opening it up to NC and rural at another later date, then that is something that we would do. So it would be under review, but I think the intention was to allow the first year to just kind of serve as a test run to kind of show and prove how this would operate and function in the community.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Yes, sir, Mr. Griswold.
Yes, just a clarification. When you were reading the ordinance, introducing the ordinance, you said section 504 and 505. I don't think the original ordinance includes section 505. The amended one does. But just for the record, since we're on tape and everything, make sure that we correctly stated the ordinance.
Yes, and I wanted to include that because it was included in the amendments. Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
All right.
Good. All right. Anything else?
Well, I'd like to thank you for the work you've done on this, Director Cotton. I think this is an excellent addition to the toolbox for this city. It offers a little bit of flexibility from both the city and from developers, and I think I'm very pleased with the way it's come out. Thanks a lot.
I concur with you, Mr. Parsons. Thank you, Justice, for your leadership and your staff and y'all's hard work on this, and certainly the Planning Commission and all their efforts. The stakeholders in our community that came and provided some input as well. Hopefully this reflects, a good direction for our community to go in the future, and does add the ability to be creative and to be flexible in our developments. And we look forward to what the outcomes could be. We've got some excellent ideas floating around this town, and hopefully this gives them the opportunity to utilize some of those ideas. So look forward to seeing it get to work here in the near future.
I'd like to say I actually agree with Bob, so I wanted to, often that happens.
Thank you, Chief. All right, anyone else? Okay, at this time, we'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
On the zoning ordinance text amendment, as well as the amendments that we offered tonight.
Do we need to move to approve first?
Sure.
Okay.
That would take care of it and clear it all up, but
Yeah.
move to approve with amendments.
All right, I move to approve with both amendments.
Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second on that, so now we'll take a voice vote. All right, Allison?
Taylor,
Yes.
Witten,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Yes,
Koblenz,
ma'am.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Griswold,
Yes, ma'am.
Foreman,
Yes, ma'am.
Parsons,
Yes.
Anders.
Yes. All right, resolutions.
On the resolutions, item 10A1 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a professional services agreement with Barge Design Solutions Incorporated for design, bid, and construction phase services associated with the East University Drive culvert replacement at Summertrees Drive in the amount of $315,000. The resolution further authorizes an additional 10% of the contract amount at $31,500 as contingency for unforeseen circumstances.
Move for approval.
Second?
All right, have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions from the council? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries.
Item 10A2 is a resolution authorizing the mayor and city manager to execute an intergovernmental funding agreement with Lee County for a joint project to construct a roundabout at the intersection of Society Hill Road and Moores Mill Road in the amount of $500,000. This funding was introduced to the city council at the budget discussion and was included in the FY 2025 capital improvement plan. This agreement was approved by the Lee County Commission at its February 24th, 25 meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any questions, thoughts, comments? Look forward to this project getting done. Yes, sir, Mr.
That $500,000 is just our contribution. It's a good deal more than that.
It will be considerably more than that. That's our contribution. So,
Thank you. All right. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries.
that's all the items we have on the agenda.
Okay, this time we'll open up Citizens Open Forum. This is your opportunity to speak to the council about anything that might be on your mind. We'd ask that you come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes. Please address your comments to the council. Who'll be first? Yes, sir.
Steve Cosgrove, 1927 Watercress Drive. What a beautiful, beautiful day. We were spared, Mother Nature spared us this past weekend, but 52 of the 67 counties of the state of Alabama were really affected, and some of them really more so than others, and in other parts of our country too. It's just amazing how that happens. I want to take a minute and just to really let you know again one more time that I really appreciate each of you, and just being around town casually and also business-wise and so forth. Just the improvements that y'all have engaged and actively supporting, and you're creating those improvements through your efforts and your time and all that. And I know every one of you is busy. every one of you is busy. You got personal lives, you got family lives, you got work lives. And I really, really appreciate your dedication to the government of the municipality of Auburn. It's just amazing, everything that goes on. And I really want to compliment you on how civil you handle yourself. My first city council meeting, I think Jim Hakewood was the mayor. I think it was. And then Jan Dempsey, and then several with Bill Ham, and several with Mayor Ron Anders. But overwhelmingly, the body of council members and leaders have just been a really excellent example for civility and really decency. I want to compliment you, Allison, coming up on your 1-year anniversary, I think a week from today, if my memory is right. But you started, and Becky has handed off the baton, and you've taken it, and you got a lot of really neat things going. Yeah, really, good job. Proud of you. And but I just basically wanted to tell you thanks, and I don't need to take up the full 3 minutes, but if ever I can pitch in any way, I'm really proud of myself and wherever I live, just to contribute to the well-being and the goodness of that community. All right. Give your special mom a special hug for me if you would, Tommy. I always do this for Tommy, put him on the spot.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Who'll be next?
I just saw them, I'm sorry, Robert Wilkins, 261 Denson Drive, Auburn, Alabama. Bob, I congratulate you on your son. Maybe in about 20 years, he'll do the same thing. I just watched the astronauts come down and get out of the capsule. So it was pretty cool, and
Thank you.
I congratulate you.
Appreciate it.
Our underpaid council, I think you're underpaid. What happened to the Loveless Village on the Plains? The present and past city council members of Auburn have allowed the bureaucrats, a few greedy individuals, commercial realtors, commercial developers, and Auburn University growth to destroy the character of this city while ignoring serious problems such as affordable housing, adequate number of youth facilities, destruction of many of our neighborhoods, develop manufacturing jobs for all skills, and much more. Our downtown is being destroyed by an interwoven Auburn University student housing complex. This housing complex reminds me of aspen trees. From Webster Dictionary, aspens can form large groves where the individual trees are connected by their roots, creating a community of clones. At the State of the City address and various council meetings, Mayor Anders said this city has $200 million budget, 600 plus full-time employees and 300 part-time employees with over 870 vehicles in its fleet. If we can pay our city manager nearly $21,000 per month with 800 monthly car allowance, while 60 of the city hierarchy are getting paid between $8,300 and $18,000 per month, then surely we can pay our city council more than $600 per month. The city council has more responsibilities than turning open land into houses and buildings, paving new roads, passing ordinance, improving new neighborhoods. Auburn is no longer a village, but a growing city that needs an innovative, creative vision from its people through its duly elected council. We are not properly utilizing the enormous gifts of funding of this city and the talent. City management is supposed to control the day-to-day activities, but you, the city council, need to become full-time, not part-time, in order to control the vision and future of Auburn with the backing of its citizens. This would create better competition during the election process while giving better attention to the social needs of Auburn citizens. Thank you.
Who'll be next? Anyone? Okay. We'll close the citizens' open forum. Anyone on the council have a final comment? Anything they'd like to say?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to, in Ward 1, there's a lot of construction going on Bragg Avenue, Richmond Road, off of Foster Street. So when I come through in the morning times, traffic is really, really heavy and very congested in that area. So I'm just asking everybody to do is just be very, very careful when you're traveling along where there's a lot of constructions going on, because you may get up one morning and, you know, they digging a hole in the road or something like that. So try to leave home early enough to get to work on time. If you work in Tuskegee like I do, don't be late to work. But there's a lot of construction going on, so I was just letting everybody know that. And I appreciate the work that's going on in the ward, because it's, you know, it's beginning to look a whole lot better in Ward 1.
Good. Improvement is messy sometimes.
It is, but at the end of the day, it's the end result that counts.
That's exactly right. All right, thank you. Anyone else?
I'd like to say, Mayor, I appreciate what our city manager does, and as well as our employees. And in today's market, you got to pay to be competitive and have the best at your working for your city. I think we do have a fine bunch of people working for us. Auburn's one of the rare places that's growing like it's growing, but the crime is trending downward. That's not accidental. Everybody plays a part in that, and I just want to say how much I appreciate what our city staff does, along with our city manager. And I wish we could pay them more.
You know, Chief, there's been a couple of articles that have been put out in AL.com recently about growth in the state, and what's going on here in East Alabama is not a surprise to us, but the data shows we're in the top 2 or 3 fastest growing areas in Alabama. People are moving here for a reason, and one of the primary reasons is our public safety and our crime rates are really low, and that's because of the excellent job. I think it's also because of the excellent job of our staff and the things that we do on behalf of our citizens and how hard we work. Just this past weekend, as this weather came through, the coordination and the preparation to handle whatever might have happened in our town over the weekend was top notch. And there was a lot of communication going on, and we would have been ready for the worst if it had happened. Thank God it did not happen that way.
Exactly.
But I'm thankful for the work that occurs in this town every day, and I'm thankful for the leadership of the work that occurs in this town every day. Anyone else? Okay, is there a move to adjourn?
So moved.
We're adjourned.